Greetings, my magnificent ones. Sue Paulson here, your magnificence mentor. And we're back with another episode of Heaven on Earth. In my quest to awaken to my own magnificence, I have done some reflections, some thinking back to how I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on. There are lots of times when I've thought, if only I had known then what I know now, how might my life have been different? Well, of course, hindsight is 2020. We have regrets over things we did or didn't do, things we said or didn't say. It's all kind of jumbled up in the whole learning process of how to do life, right? and, and I confess that there were lots of things I didn't know then that probably would have benefited me if somebody had just sat me down. So if I could have been a magnificence mentor to my younger self, what would I say? Well, Sue, here's the thing. Here's what you need to know. So I think I would have told myself in those younger days to learn how to forgive easily, particularly forgive myself for things I didn't know, missteps I took, failures I had, things that I wished I'd done but never did, things I did do that I wished I'd never done. To be able to just let it go and say, it's okay. You're human and we all make mistakes. So forgiveness of myself and of course with others would have been a big one, because I don't think I learned that easily. It wasn't something that was part of my makeup in my younger days. So eventually I came to understand that whole process and take that in at heart level, so that now it's a lot easier for me to forgive. So that would be one thing that I would have told my younger self. I think I would have told my younger self to lighten up and have more fun, not take myself so seriously. It just seems when we're first starting out that we do take things very seriously, because it seems as if maybe the weight of our responsibilities or the weight of what's going on in our environment or our world is heavy. And get through school, get your degree, get a good job, raise your family properly, all those kinds of what we think are have tos. Well, I have to do this. There's no other choice. This is the way the world works. Well, actually, that's not really true if we examine it and explore it. And when I think about it now, there were times when I could have made way different choices. I didn't have to do it the way I did it. But I felt boxed in because I just was following what everybody else was doing, and I didn't know. So it's that idea to say, well, let's lighten up, let's experiment, let's try a variety of things and see what happens. Well, of course, our parents and elders at the time coach us into, oh, well, just do it this way because this is a tried and true method, and if you want these results, then follow these steps and so on. That may or may not have turned out for you. I certainly found that I rebelled at a lot of that cut and dried way of doing things. But because I didn't have a new framework for out of the box thinking, or if I didn't want to go down that trodden path, I wanted to go off the path some way, I didn't have a whole lot of guidance. So I certainly made my share of mistakes and had what I probably considered at the time as colossal failures because I just didn't know. So now, of course, I look at what I did then and see how it eventually led me to where I am now, which is a pretty cool place to be. It's just that it was very hard won. So I think I would tell my younger self, look, just lighten up. Don't be so serious about things. And of course, if you can find people to support you on your path, you don't have to do it alone. I thought, oh, if I'm going a different path, I got to do it all by myself, not even thinking that there might be somebody else out there who was doing the same thing I was doing, and it would be easier to do it together. So I didn't know that. So, of course, there's all those things that we think about and say, oh, wow, gee, I'd like a do-over. Well, guess what? We now, wherever we are in this life, on this planet, right in this moment, we always have an opportunity for a do-over. We always can change our minds about how we're going, how we're growing, whatever we're doing, to lead us in a direction that is going to serve us better. We can always stop doing what's not working and start doing some other things that we have great faith in that could lead us in the direction that we most want to go. And isn't that what the journey of magnificence and the pathways to heaven on earth are all about? Is it's about exploring, experimenting, it's about connecting with others who are part of your tribe, and you can share what you've learned. Well, this is what I found out. Well, this is what I know. And as that information circulates around, then there's these little nuggets that you can pick and say, oh, I needed that idea. Oh, that one's really going to help me. And then we can add them to whatever situation we have to make it easier, to make it better. So that's what I want to encourage you today. I think in any of us moving forward, there is some value in reviewing what has gone on in the past with the idea of understanding, well, how did that serve me? So you do a little analysis and say, well, if that served me in some way, could it still serve me now? Or is it an old, outdated something that I got everything from and there's no need to carry on with that? Sometimes I think we carry on with things just out of sheer habit. Well, I've always done it this way. Well, and maybe that was fine for the first 40 years of your life, and you get to a certain point and you say, yeah, but I don't want to do that way anymore. I don't want to do that way. And then we look for something better. So, I mean, I used to cycle to school every morning. And then when we moved to the country, well, that was no longer possible because it was too far. So then I took the bus. And then when I got my driver's license, then I could drive. So things change based on the circumstances. And I mean, heaven forbid that we'd use a dial phone anymore, which I grew up with. You know, I've got my cell phone practically attached to my hip and don't even go very far without it. Well, it serves me in a different way than a regular phone did in bygone days. So it's to sort out, how do I need to go now based on, if I'm looking to have more heaven on earth in my life, are there people I need to forgive? Do I need to forgive myself for any of that old stuff so I can lighten my load and get rid of that baggage? Do I need to look for new and innovative ways to move forward if I'm in a helping field and I'm looking to help others? Well, what could I add to my toolbox that would help them uncover and embrace their own magnificence? How can I help them have more heaven on earth depending on what's important to them? Because we're always teaching others and we're always learning from others. It's just that part of the way we roll as human beings. We're moving into a very collaborative and communicative and really a cooperative kind of world now. We need each other. It's complex out there. Situations that we're faced with are not simple. So it's that collective energy that if we pull on it, then each of us with our own unique gifts and talents can add to each other's, and then we can really build something solid. We can really address the challenges that there are out there and find workable solutions where maybe at one time we didn't think there could be any. So that's what I want to encourage you today to do a little reflecting on what would you tell yourself, your younger self, based on where you are now? What have you learned as you've come along the way? And then, of course, moving forward, how could you carry it on to move forward? You know, you're magnificent enough to do this. So there's my challenge for the week. Now, I want to mention that on March the 4th, I am doing the second in our workshop series. We're doing, this one is entitled, this is the big title for the whole workshop series, is called Pathways to Magnificence. And this particular 90 minutes that's coming up on March the 4th is all about introducing the 4 keys to the kingdom. And we're going to start with key number 1, desire. So that's what we're going to work with on the 4th. So if you'd like to join us, this is a free online interactive workshop. It's live, and all you have to do to register for that, I just love you to come and see what we're doing. Then you just register at magnificencelab.org/workshop. And then it'll give you all the information is there, the times and how we're showing up. Then it's all there for you. Join us and check it out, because there'll be some interesting ideas that'll come forth that I think you'll want to be a part of. Until next time, take good care.